Imagine taking off on a routine training mission and never being seen again. 5 U.S. Navy bombers disappeared without leaving a single confirmed trace. Even the rescue aircraft sent to find them vanished. This is the mystery of Flight 19. Rescue plane silhouette fading into dark clouds. December 5, 1945. The Second World War had ended just months earlier. Thousands of American pilots were still training every day across the country. At Fort Lauderdale Naval Air Station, 5 TBM Avenger bombers prepared for a routine navigation exercise. Nothing about this mission seemed unusual. The weather forecast looked favorable. The experienced instructor, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, led the formation. 4 student crews followed him into the sky. The mission was expected to last only a few hours. The aircraft completed the first phase successfully. Then, something unexpected happened. Taylor radioed the control tower with a shocking message. "Both of my compasses are out. I don't know where we are." Air traffic controllers tried guiding the pilots back to base. But every minute, the confusion grew worse. And this was only the beginning of one of America's greatest aviation mysteries. As the minutes passed, the situation became more alarming. Lieutenant Charles Taylor repeatedly radioed the control tower, explaining that both of his compasses appeared to be malfunctioning. Without a reliable compass, navigating over the open Atlantic became extremely difficult. Air traffic controllers immediately tried to help. They instructed Taylor to turn west, believing that flying west would eventually bring the squadron back to the Florida coastline. But Taylor wasn't convinced. He believed he was somewhere over the Florida Keys, not the Atlantic Ocean. That single mistake may have changed everything. Because of this confusion, the entire formation continued flying farther away from land instead of toward safety. Fuel levels were dropping with every passing minute, while daylight slowly disappeared. Radio operators continued receiving broken transmissions. The pilots sounded increasingly exhausted and confused. Some crew members reportedly questioned Taylor's directions, but military protocol required them to follow their leader. Soon, communication became weaker and weaker. Static filled the radio. Then, silence. No distress signal, no confirmed crash report, no final coordinates. The 5 aircraft had seemingly vanished over the ocean. The U.S. Navy immediately launched one of the largest search operations of its time. Ships, aircraft, and hundreds of personnel began scanning thousands of square miles of ocean. Then, something even stranger happened. A large rescue aircraft took off to search for Flight 19. But before it could complete its mission, it also disappeared. 2 separate missions, 6 aircraft, 27 men, and not a single confirmed answer. The rescue aircraft sent to search for Flight 19 was a Martin PBM Mariner, a large flying boat often used for long-range rescue missions. It carried a crew of 13 experienced men. Shortly after takeoff, the rescue aircraft also disappeared. Unlike Flight 19, some witnesses reported seeing a bright explosion over the ocean around the same time. Because the PBM Mariner was known to have fuel vapor issues, investigators believed it may have exploded in midair. But that still didn't explain the fate of Flight 19. Over the following days, the U.S. Navy launched a massive search operation. Dozens of aircraft and ships searched more than 250,000 square miles of the Atlantic Ocean. The search lasted for days. Crews looked across the sea from sunrise to sunset, hoping to find even the smallest piece of wreckage. But almost nothing was found. No confirmed aircraft debris, no life rafts, no survivors. With so little physical evidence, investigators were forced to rely on radio recordings, weather reports, and pilot experience. Over the years, several theories have emerged. The first and most widely accepted theory is navigation error. Investigators believe Lieutenant Charles Taylor mistakenly thought he was over the Florida Keys instead of east of Florida. As a result, he continued flying farther into the Atlantic until the aircraft ran out of fuel. The second theory points to rapidly changing weather. Strong winds, rough seas, and fading daylight could have made navigation almost impossible, especially with faulty instruments. And then there's the theory that made Flight 19 famous around the world, the Bermuda Triangle. Some believe the aircraft entered a region where strange disappearances have been reported for decades. Supporters claim unusual magnetic forces or unexplained phenomena were responsible. However, There is no scientific evidence proving that the Bermuda Triangle has mysterious powers. Most experts believe ordinary factors like weather, navigation mistakes, and human error provide more likely explanations. Nearly 80 years have passed since Flight 19 disappeared. Despite decades of research, advanced technology, and countless investigations, no confirmed wreckage of the 5 aircraft has ever been recovered. Over the years, researchers have proposed many explanations. Some believe the answer lies in simple human error. Others point to changing weather conditions and equipment failure. And then there are those who believe the mystery goes far beyond anything science can explain. But here's the most important fact. There is no confirmed evidence that aliens, supernatural forces, or the Bermuda Triangle caused the disappearance of Flight 19. The official investigation concluded that the most likely cause was navigational confusion, combined with worsening weather and fuel exhaustion. However, because no definitive evidence was ever recovered, the exact fate of Flight 19 remains unknown. Sometimes, history leaves behind questions that may never be answered. Flight 19 is more than just a story about missing airplanes. It reminds us how vast the ocean is, how limited technology once was, and how easily a routine mission could turn into one of America's greatest unsolved aviation mysteries. So, what do you think really happened? Was it a tragic navigation mistake? An unexpected storm? Or is there still a missing piece of this mystery waiting to be discovered? Let me know your theory in the comments below. If you enjoy real mystery documentaries based on historical events and verified facts, don't forget to subscribe. New mysteries are waiting in the next video.